come to child's pose. So you come to tabletop hands and knees, and then sit your hips back on your heels. And begin to fold your torso over your lower body. And breathe in and out. As you inhale, think about filling up your belly like a big balloon. As you exhale, hollow out your belly, deflating the balloon. And as you inhale, maybe walk your fingertips gently toward the front of the mat as you roll your shoulders down and back. And on the next exhale, let your hips float a little deeper to your heels. And you can always experiment having your knees and your shins together, or you can open your knees to the short edges of the mat, whichever seems more comfortable for you. As you breathe in and out, you're thinking about lengthening through your spine and hollowing out the belly. Inhale here, and begin to draw your attention to your breath. So breathing through your nose with your lips softly closed. Think about, as you inhale, feel the touch of the cool, dry breath in your nostril. And as you exhale, feel the touch of the warm, moist breath in your nostril. And throughout the practice, think about having a quiet and deep smooth and continuous, unbroken breath. So you want to think about linking the inhale with the exhale, keeping the inhale as long as the exhale, and sometimes the way to measure that is to count maybe to 3 or 4 on the inhale, and make sure that as you exhale, you're counting to the same number, to 3 or 4. And then no hiccups along the way. So if the practice becomes so rigorous that your breath is not smooth, then you can drop it back a little and find your breath and find your center. So on the inhale, come up to tabletop. So line your wrists over your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And open your knees so that they're hips distance apart. Give yourself a nice foundation. Breathing out through the crown of your head. And let your gaze look down. Drop your gaze toward that space in between your hands. And as you inhale, drop your heart toward the mat and lift your head and your tailbone into cow. So you're still in tabletop, and then just let the heart drop and lift up, and then exhale into cat. We're just waking up your spine. And inhale into cow. And exhale, hollow out the belly and really arch into cat. Inhale into cow. And exhale into cat. And then come back to a neutral spine. So your spine is long, you're looking down in between your hands. And you extend your right leg behind you, pressing through the ball of your foot and your heel. That activates your leg. And thinking about taking the energy from the hip flexor, right where it attaches to the body, out through the sole. And as you exhale, make space by pulling your belly button toward your spine and bring your knee up toward your chin or your nose. And as you inhale, extend your leg behind you. And exhale, bring your knee toward your chin. And inhale, extend. And one more time, exhale and hold here, breathing in. And as you exhale, come a little closer. Inhale and exhale and extend your right leg behind you, and come back to tabletop and go right to the other side, extending your left leg behind you. And it's usually a little more stable to tuck your back toes or tuck the toes onto the mat. That usually helps. And so try to see if you can have your leg parallel with the mat, so a little bit higher, and pressing through the heel and the ball of the foot, and breathing in here, and exhale, bring your knee towards your chin. Inhale and lengthen, and exhale and tuck, and inhale and lengthen, and exhale, bring your knee towards your chin and stay right here for a couple of breaths. Inhale here, exhale, bring it in just even a little tighter. Inhale, extend your left leg behind you, and come back to tabletop. And this time extend your right leg in your left hand, so your left hand will come and your thumb is up as if you're going to shake hands, opening up the fingers toward the front wall. Open the fingers up, yes. So you're reaching through the fingertips, reaching through the toes. Exhale, bring your knee and your elbow together underneath you. And inhale and lengthen just as long as you can, and exhale and tuck. And inhale and extend it, exhale and tuck, and stay here. Breathe in and out and in and out. And on the inhale, extend your leg behind you and your arm forward. And stay right here as you keep breathing. Lift your hand and your foot just a little more and exhale back to tabletop. And go to the other side, so extend your left foot and your right, or the arm, yes, left foot and right arm. Reach through your fingertips and your toes. On your exhale, bring your elbow and your knee together. And inhale and extend, and exhale, bring the knee and elbow together. And inhale and exhale, bring your knee and elbow together. And stay right here, breathing in and out and in and out. And on the next inhale, extend and lengthen. Stay right here. Lift your hand and your foot just a little, and exhale with control back to tabletop. And sit your hips back on your heels and find your breath in your center here in Balasana, Child's Pose. And notice how your breath is right now after just building the tiniest bit of heat. And as you exhale, stay right where you are, but just bring your arms down by your sides and let your palms rest on the soles of your feet. So that's, you're tucked in a little bit more. And then begin, as on the inhale, lift your hips and come on to the crown of your head. Yes, not too far. And exhale back. And inhale, lift your hips. And exhale with control, come back. And inhale, lift your hips. And stay right here for the exhale. And inhale. And exhale, bring your hips back down by your heels. And reach your arms up by your ears. And so extend your arms toward the front of the mat and roll your shoulders down and back. And then come back into tabletop. Tuck your toes and come to downward. And just walk the dog, bending one knee and then the other, and your hands are shoulders distance apart, all 10 fingertips are facing forward, feet are hips distance apart. Just begin to wake up your back body, the back of your spine, the backs of your legs. And then find your stillness in downward dog. And then think about bringing your heels toward the mat, and if they're not touching, maybe walk your feet in just a little bit. So you can find that space. And so think about from your elbows to your wrists, rolling your forearms in, and from the elbows to the shoulders, you're rolling the upper arm out. Same thing with the legs, from the knees to the ankles, rolling that in, and from the knees to the hips, rolling out. Breathing in and out. And on the inhale, come up on the balls of your feet, and then press your chest towards your thighs. And then exhale, bring your heels back to the mat. Inhale, come onto the balls of your feet. Press your chest towards your thighs. And exhale, float your heels back down. One more time, coming up on the balls of your feet. Press your chest towards your thighs. And exhale, back down to downward dog. Inhale, come one more time up to the balls of your feet and bring your knees to the mat. Find yourself in tabletop, and then drop your heart into cow as you inhale and exhale, tuck into cat. And then come back to tabletop and tuck your toes and come right back into downward dog. And then float up onto the balls of your feet and exhale, bend your knees and hover your shins by the mat. And notice how your weight goes back off of your wrists. Inhale, lift your hips, and exhale, float your heels back down. Another time, coming up on the balls of your feet. Exhale, hover your shins as close to the mat as you can be. Breathing in, lifting your hips. Coming back, lift the hips to the ceiling and exhale your heels down. One more time, onto the balls of your feet. Bring your knees, hovering. Inhale, lift your hips, and exhale back to downward dog. And walk the dog again, bending one knee and then the other. And then find your stillness again in your downward dog, pressing into all 10 fingertips, thinking lower arms and lower legs are rotating in, upper arms and upper legs rotating out. Shoulders are down and back. And then bring your feet together and float your right leg behind you. So behind it, up toward the ceiling. And exhale, bring your right foot in between your hands and bring your back knee to the mat into a low lunge. And bring your hands to your thighs. As you're rooting up through the crown of your head, let your hips float down. So you're feeling that in the quads and the hip flexors, the hip openers. And then breathe your arms out by your sides, collecting the energy and breathing it right close in by your ears. And exhale, hands to heart center. And the arms down by your sides and breathing up. And exhale again to heart center. Just lengthening the spine each time you come to heart center. One more time, arms down and then breathe up. And exhale. This time, reach your hands forward. Reach, reach, reach. And then exhale. Release hands to either side of your front foot. And then send your right leg back to the ceiling. And come back to tabletop. And then tuck your toes and come into downward dog. And then send your left leg to the ceiling. And exhale your left foot in between your hands. Bring your back knee to the mat. And just notice how this side feels. Maybe the same, maybe different. Just bring your hands to your thighs. And lengthen through your spine as you root down through your hips and your knees. And bring your arms by your side and breathe out and up, collecting your energy, and exhale, lengthening as you come to heart center. And then drop your arms by your sides and breathe up and exhale to heart center. And one more time, arms by your sides, breathing up and exhale. This time, reach, reach, reach forward and let your hands come to the mat on either side of your front foot. And then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and send your left leg to the ceiling. And then bring your left foot back to downward dog. And then right away, let's send your right leg up to the ceiling again. And exhale, bring your right foot in between your hands. This time, keep your back knee up. So it would be the high lunge. And as you inhale, breathe your chest forward just a little bit. And as you exhale, come up and bring your hands to your thigh. And this time, drop your arms by your sides and breathe them up and then cross your wrists. And you can always bring the back knee down to adjust if you would like, reaching up and reach, exhale, reaching, and then exhale, hands to either side of your front foot. And then send your right leg back to the ceiling and right leg back to downward dog. And then send your left leg to the ceiling. Exhale, make some space so your left foot can come in between your hands. Keep your back knee up or bring it back to the mat. It's a high lunge like this, or with the back knee down, it's a low lunge. Finding your length and maybe sending your energy out that back sole of your foot so your back leg is straighter. Breathe your arms up and cross. So the idea is to stretch in both directions, but to not sit in your hip and let all your weight rest there. And then cross the other way. And then reach up and exhale, reach forward and bring your hands to either side of your front foot. And then if you can bring your palms all the way to the mat, that gives you more stability, and send your left leg to the ceiling and your left leg to downward dog. And then again, send your right leg up and exhale your right foot in between your hands and bring your back knee to the mat into a low lunge. And begin by bringing your hands to your thighs and lengthening out, making sure your front knee is right over your ankle. That's perfect. And breathe your arms up and exhale your arms behind you, interlacing your fingers. Roll your shoulders down and back and begin to open the front of your body toward the ceiling. Maybe you open the chest to the ceiling, maybe you drop your head back a little bit, breathing in and out. And then release the fingers and bring your arms up. And exhale, reach to either side of your front foot. And then lift your back knee and send your right leg to the ceiling. And exhale your right foot to downward dog. And then send your left leg to the ceiling. And exhale your left foot in between your hands. Your back knee to the mat, and perfect, because your knee is right over your ankles. As you're coming up, bring your hands to your thigh and lengthen up as you float down, and breathe the arms up And exhale, let your arms float behind you, interlacing your fingers. Roll your shoulders down and back and open the whole front of your body to the ceiling. Maybe drop your head back. And the knuckles are facing down, allowing you to float closer to the mat. And then release your fingers and breathe your arms up. And exhale, reach to either side of your front foot. Lift your back knee and send your left leg to the ceiling. And come to downward dog. And then send your right leg to the ceiling. Exhale your right foot in between your hands, keeping your back knee up for a high lunge, or dropping the knee if you would like. And then bring your hands to your thighs. And we'll do the same thing with the arms, so you're sinking down as you're reaching up, and exhale, hands behind you, opening, rolling your shoulders down and back, opening your whole front of your body to the ceiling. And then reach your arms up. And exhale, belly button towards your spine, making space, and bring your hands to either side of your front foot. Send your right leg to the ceiling, and exhale your right foot back to downward dog. One more time, just breathing your left leg up, and exhale your left foot in between your hands. And either stay in the high lunge or bring the back knee down for the low lunge. And as you're lengthening up through your spine, let your arms rest by your sides. Breathe your arms up by your ears, and exhale. Open your torso and drop your head. Inhale, come back as you release your fingers, coming up. And exhale, hollow out your belly as you reach your hands to either side of your front foot. Palms all the way on the mat. And send that left leg to the ceiling and come to downward dog. And then come up on the balls of your feet and bring your knees to the mat. And bring your chest to the mat. And bring your chin to the mat. So the whole front of your body is resting on the mat. The tops of your feet are on the mat. Your forehead is on the mat. And breathe in here. Press your belly into the mat on the inhale as you fill up. And as you exhale, the belly button comes toward the spine. And think about rolling your shoulders down and back. And throughout the practice, certainly certain things are going to be active, but just think about trying to release anything that you can. Soften anything that you can. Soften your chin and your jaw by just smiling just slightly with the lips closed. And see if there's any other spot in your body that has tension or anxiety. And send your breath and attention there to release it. And now as you inhale, keep the tops of your feet on the mat and just lift the knees so you just activate the legs. And then on the next inhale, lift your head and shoulders into a baby cobra. And exhale back. And this time, inhale into the baby cobra. And then just move your hands just an inch back towards your waist and come into a high cobra so the torso, just the torso would come off of the mat. So at this point, you're thinking about as much distance between shoulders and ears as you can. And exhale, bend your elbows and come back down. One more time with the baby cobra, breathe your head and shoulders up. As you inhale, fill up your belly. Exhale, tuck your toes and bend your knees. Tuck the toes and bend the knees and come into tabletop. And then come into downward dog. And as you come up onto the balls of your feet, or send your right leg to the ceiling and step your right foot in between your hands. And then send your left leg to the ceiling. Bring your right foot to meet, or left foot to meet your right, so both feet are in between your hands. And then come to a flat back. And then exhale. And release down and relax your head and neck, shaking your head yes and no. And then as you're relaxing there, you have your knees as soft as they need to be for you to be able to really fold into that fold. Making sure that you're never locking your knees. And think about keeping your weight in the arches of your feet, in the center of your feet. Usually for most of us that means that you roll a little forward. And then let the head and neck drop. And then as you inhale, open your arms to a T and really bend your knees deeply. And then come all the way up, opening toward the ceiling, and then come to heart center with straight legs. So you're in mountain Tadasana. Make sure your feet are hips distance apart. And that you stack your knees over your ankles and your hips over your knees. That your belly button is toward your spine. You're lengthening up through the crown of your head. And tuck your chin just slightly. And let your arms come by your sides. Palms forward, just a little bit of space under the armpits. And breathing here in active mountain. Another good posture to come back to if you need to catch your breath. As you breathe your arms out to the sides, breathe them up by your ears. And exhale, bring your palms together and bring your hands to heart center. Inhale here, exhale, let your arms come back down. And then just breathe them up to shoulder height and stay right there. And your legs are straight. And inhale here and exhale, swan dive forward, going into Surya Namaskar A. Sun Salutation A. And then come to a flat back. And then exhale back down into the forward fold Uttanasana. And then bring your hands to the mat and bend your knees. And keep those palms all the way down. Bend your knees and find your way to downward dog. Step your feet back to downward dog. And then ripple forward to high plank. So you bring your whole body forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. Belly button's toward your spine. Your whole body is one plank. And then exhale, knees to the mat. And chest to the mat. And chin to the mat. And then on your inhale, tops of your feet are on the mat. Activate your knees, pull them up off of the mat, just the knees. And so you're pressing the tops of your feet up and then breathe into a baby cobra, lifting your head and shoulders. And exhale down. And inhale, fill up your belly and exhale into tabletop. And then tuck your toes and come back into downward dog. And send your right leg to the ceiling. Exhale, your right foot in between your hands. And on the next inhale, send your left leg to the ceiling. And exhale, your left foot next to your right. And come to a flat back. And exhale and release. And bend your knees deep and bring your arms to a T. And come all the way up into mountain. So you're straightening your legs and let your arms come down by your side. And then breathe your arms up to shoulder height. Exhale. Swan dive. Reach, and release down. Make sure to relax the head and neck. Come to a flat back. And then bend your knees deeply and bring the palms to the mat. And then step your feet back into downward dog. We'll go to round 2 of Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. And send your lift up onto the balls of your feet and exhale your knees to the mat, your chest to the mat, and your chin to the mat. And then on your inhale, lift into low cobra, tops of your feet are on the mat, and exhale back down. Inhale, press the belly into the mat, exhale, tuck your toes and come to tabletop. And then tuck your toes and come to downward dog. And this time send your left leg to the ceiling. Exhale your left foot in between your hands. So it's like the high lunge. And then send your right leg to the ceiling. And exhale your right foot next to your left. And you can always just step the right foot and skip the sending to the ceiling if you would like. Come to a flat back. And exhale. Fold forward, bend your knees, arms to a T, and come all the way up. And open your arms to mountain. Round 3, breathe your arms up to shoulder height. And exhale, reach, and release lower. Come to a flat back, and then bend your knees and bring your palms to the mat, and then step your feet back to downward dog. And then ripple forward to high plank, so your whole body comes forward in a high push-up. And then bring your knees to the mat, your chest to the mat, your chin to the mat. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat. And on the exhale, lift your head and shoulders into the baby cobra. Inhale here, exhale back to the mat. Inhale, fill up your belly. Exhale, tuck your toes and come into tabletop. And come into downward dog. And send your right leg to the ceiling. And exhale your right foot in between your hands. And send your left leg to the ceiling. And exhale your left foot in between your hands. We're going to take a little detour here, so come to a flat back. And exhale and release down. And then make sure your feet are hips distance apart, so you might wiggle off and And just simply let your body hang down and catch the inside of your opposite elbow with your wrists. And see if you can rest the crown of your head on your forearms. And you can soften your knees into ragdoll. So everything is, let gravity help you to float into this fold. And relax your head into your forearms. And then gently sway from side to side. And on your next exhale, let your hands come in between your feet. Let both of your hands come to the mat. Bend your knees as much as you need for that. And then as you breathe in, open your right arm to your shoulders, shoulder height. Not all the way up yet, just shoulder height, and exhale the right arm down. And then this next time, inhale and open. So you're opening your torso as you're folding forward. Lifting up and exhale your right hand back down to the mat in between your feet. And then on the inhale, lift your left arm just to shoulder height and exhale. And then inhale your left arm, and you can keep it at shoulder height, or if you would like, you can open up into the twist. Breathing in and out. Each inhale is a cleansing breath. Each exhale releases the toxin. Lifting up through your fingertips, exhale your hand back to the mat. And shake your head yes, and shake your head no. And breathing in here, and then bring your hands to the outside of your feet. And bend your knees and come back into downward dog. And then send your right leg to the ceiling and exhale, or your left. Bring your left foot in between.
Right.
I did, but it did one and then the other, so it doesn't matter. Bring your right foot in between your hands. And then stay right here in the crescent lunge. So you're exactly where you need to be. Your back heel is up. You can feel your belly on your thigh. And then bring your chest forward just a little bit as you exhale a little deeper into the fold. And then inhale your hands back to your thigh, like we did at the beginning. And bring your arms straight up this time. And then begin to arch back slightly. So you're forming a whole arch with your whole body, the crescent. Breathing in. And then exhale your arms forward, reach, and release your hands to either side of the front foot. And then send your back leg to the ceiling and bring your, and come to downward dog. And then send the opposite leg, maybe the left or the right, to the ceiling and exhale your left foot forward. Or that foot forward. You're coming into the high lunge. Breathe your chest forward. Sending the energy out through the sole of your back foot. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to either side of your thigh. Breathing in and out. And then on your inhale, breathe your arms up by your ears. And exhale. Bring your hands to either side of your front foot. And then send that front leg back to the ceiling. And come to downward dog. And then ripple forward to plank. And bring your knees and your chest and your chin to the mat. And come up into a baby cobra, bringing the tops of your feet on the mat. And exhale back down. And inhale, fill up your belly. Exhale, tuck your toes and bend your knees. And come to tabletop. And then right from tabletop, make sure your shoulders are right over your wrists and your hips are over your knees. Open your right arm just to shoulder height, to the side, shoulder height to the side. And exhale and thread the needle, but hover. So you bring your hand underneath, but you hover and don't put it all the way on the mat yet. And then inhale your arm to the side and just a little bit more than shoulder height. And then exhale your arm underneath. And then one more time, inhaling your arm right to the ceiling. And exhale your right shoulder and your right side of your face to the mat. And then if you can, turn that palm toward the ceiling. And then breathe in here. It's a nice release for the upper back. Breathing in and out. And as you inhale, come back to tabletop. And go right to the other side. So you put your left arm to the side, shoulder height, and exhale. And hover. And inhale. Maybe shoulder again or just a little higher. And then inhale and lift and exhale. Thread the needle, bring your left shoulder in the left. And the left side of your face to the mat, breathing in and out. And on your inhale, come back to tabletop and sit your hips back on your heels in child's pose. And find your breath in your center. Okay, I'm just gonna stop. I just want to tell you something. We're taping